pop a wheelie.
Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah.
That's the music that you do a pop a wheelie
Holy
to.
shit, shut up, everybody. All right, here we go.
Pop a wheelie.
All right. It is 7/13/2017. This is the Overdose Talk Show. Thank you to new subscribers and people joining us for the first or second time. This is the whole crew if you're new to the show. We got Andrea and David Box joining us on Skype up in Illinois. What up?
Hi.
Hey.
Hi. I'm down here in New Orleans. My name's Vinny, and then when Alex is taking care of his old decrepit grandmama in Gulf Shores, Mississippi, right?
Alabama.
Oh, Alabama. Oh, that's right, Alabama. Fuck, sorry. So how's she doing?
Yeah, you sound real fucking concerned.
I would assume the answer is bad.
Better,
Yeah.
Better since I got here.
Oh yeah.
That's
Are you keeping her spirits
good.
up? What do you guys do?
That's what I.
Have you been hanging out with her a lot?
Yeah, you know, a bit.
Is there any? I mean, is she like? Is there any point? You know what I mean? Does she remember who you are? Is it does every day start with, "What? What are you doing? Where's my husband? He's been dead for 32 years."
God.
Hey, young man.
Yeah.
Not at all.
No.
Her speech was really affected from her strokes, but no, nothing like that.
So what have you been getting out of it? Anything cool?
Is it butterscotch?
You
I
get
mean,
like,
I'm
at least.
Yeah.
I'm a
Hard
block. Away,
candies.
I'm a block away from the beach. I can't really ask for more.
Yeah, but you know, I mean,
Yeah, but it's Alabama.
it's not it's not like it's a Venice Beach or some, you know, kind of. Why is that a thing I think of? What's a nice what's a nice beach? I think that's like the
I
worst
got
place
it.
ever, right? What's like a nice beach? I don't even know. I don't go to the ocean. Fuck that shit.
Safe away.
Yeah.
But no, you were telling me. See, I'm trying to lead you there naturally, right? But you were telling me about, like, you know, interesting conversations you'd had with her.
Yeah, that's where I was getting. Yeah, she was debunking.
Oh, is that where you were taking
I
this?
thought she couldn't talk because of her stroke.
Where,
So
that's where I was getting.
No, she can talk. She can't talk well. I mean, I understand her, but she you know, she can't form the words, so she just calls it a thing or just says, forget it. No, but she was debunking everything they taught us in school about
Jews.
black-white relations and the Jews in Alabama.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did she say?
Well,
wait, hold on. What are the lies about black, whites, and Jews?
well, I heard about the separate water fountains
The blacks are actually controlling the Jews. That's what's
Oh
actually
my
going
God.
on.
You heard it here first.
I just didn't know how the Jews played into it.
Well, she gets there eventually.
All right, let's have it.
Debunking the two water fountains thing, and black people have to go in the back door at a theater and stuff. I just kept asking her all these things. She's like, "Yeah, none of that happened."
Well, it may not have existed as much in small towns that, you know, but there are definite pictures of people using two separate water fountains and shit. You know, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe that was more of a big city thing. You know, but.
Or that
Maybe
could've
she
been-
went to a private school instead of a public school.
Well, I think that it was much more segregated here. Like in the South, you just had the separate towns, so it wasn't a big deal.
Maybe she's lying. Maybe she's in the Klan. She's trying to cover up for all this shit.
She's an old woman filled with regret.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it didn't happen where she grew up, but I'm pretty sure that one actually happened. No?
Yeah, but I guess isn't it possible that maybe has been exaggerated?
Yeah,
Over
probably.
time?
Probably because
I mean, that
Well,
seems really likely,
I'm
actually.
thinking maybe that black person water fountain thing, that could have been one asshole shop.
One place,
That
yeah.
was a satirical photograph.
Yeah.
It's lived on in every history book.
actually society was so not racist that was considered to be like very shocking art in its time.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
what if we segregated each other, you know, and then slowly over time the liberals turned that into actual history. Don't even get me started. Um, so, all right. So we did this this video about Opie getting fired. Look, I really regret saying that Anthony wasn't funny before 2009. Everybody hated that I said that. That was just an arbitrary year I fucking threw out there. Whatever. I maybe I meant before 2005. Maybe I really just meant that as you go far back enough in their show, it just has a different rhythm, you know, that I'm not that into, and it had a more kind of just mainstream sort of radio kind of feel to it, you know. But also when you go far back enough and you listen to them on like AM radio, it's weird to hear grown men that aren't allowed to swear, and they're having the conversations they're having, but like they'll be like, this is, you know, they'll say like S instead of shit or effing, you know, it's so effing, but it's like, ugh, there's just something about it I just don't, that just takes me out of it.
So
you know?
awkward,
Yeah, right. So there's a certain point you go back far enough in their career that I just don't really enjoy it that much. Whatever. Okay, sorry. Maybe it was before 2009. But otherwise, I mean, there's like 4 people that jumped on that. Like, what are you talking about? Andrew Dice Clay impressions were in like 2006. I'm like, all right, you're right. Sorry, those were funny. You know,
How dare you?
yeah, right. Like, okay, fine, whatever. And anyways, this is what happens. This is why I was nervous to ever do material on O&A, is because the fans are crazy, you know, and they're like, and I'm one of them. I'm one of those people that there's like 50 people out there that I hate. Like, I hate Steve Harvey. I really hate him. You know why? You know why?
No, why?
Because one time O&A had a 2-day feud with him 12 years ago or some shit, you know? Like, I'm one of those people. So
You have like a weird obsessive encyclopedic knowledge of a very wide range of Opie and Anthony stuff.
well, yeah, dude, I am kind of a weird Rain Man of Opie and Anthony YouTube videos. No, it's true. Andrea was there one day where we were talking, and I was like, oh, that kind of reminds me of this one moment in this 10-hour video that I saw.
10-hour video, I do remember that. Yeah.
And so I pulled it up,
It
and I just
was really
clicked.
like 2 minutes of it.
Yeah, and I just clicked right to the spot in like one try. Like, that was fucking freaky. It was easily as good as counting the straws when they hit the floor, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Almost better.
Yeah, a lot better, because then we got to listen to something funny instead of fucking
exactly.
arguing with a moron about where he has to buy his underwear. You know,
Yeah.
like, I only buy my underwear at the Kmart. Blah blah blah. Oh God, fucking throw that guy out of the car so fast.
Yeah, fuck you, man.
But yeah, so I was nervous to ever do stuff about O&A because it's like, it's a little intimidating. The fan base is, first of all, they don't like anything. You know how I don't like anything, right? They don't fucking like anything, and they turn on stuff really fast. And there can be this sort of hive mind to it, where when we view something as an enemy of like the O&A spirit or whatever, it's sort of like, all right, there's this other guy, Steve Knopper. Okay, who the fuck cares? This guy was a writer in, I think, the Chicago Tribune for a while and stuff, and I like subscribe to his Facebook page and just leave shitty comments on his stuff still to this day. So I'm like, fuck this fucking guy wrote an article about O&A in 2008, you know, and I fucking hate him, dude. He's such a piece of shit. He's such a hack. Fuck this motherfucker.
We will never forgive you.
Yeah, so that's I still follow Scorch. O&A fans know Scorch. I think you guys know a little Scorch.
Yeah, and we know a little Scorch.
You know what I mean? It gets obsessive, it gets weird, and so I never wanted to step into that realm and put ourselves out there until I realized there was this fucking moron. Well, what else? Before we get to him, what else in the comments did we want to address? Anything from the last? There's a traitor on my network. That's been making me laugh all fucking day. Whatever, kind of insidery, whatever. The intro, the people like the impression of Opie, whatever. All right. And then this one comment really cut pretty deep, I will admit. The guy that we made fun of. The whole reason we did this show is because this fucking guy's putting out videos, and he was like the only one, We're like, dude, if this is all that's out there, we kind of owe it to the whole community to do something better. And so this guy, how do you say it? Saiyan Z
Rage, yeah.
Saiyan Z Rage.
Yeah.
Here's what he said, because we made fun of him a little bit. He said, this show...
Little bit.
Yeah.
Little bit.
He said, this show stinks. And then he puts a link to his own show. So in a way, it kind of looks like he's saying his own show stinks.
Yeah.
Like, this show stinks.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, and there's a link to his show. And I didn't even have it. It got flagged as spam, but I saw that, and I was like, oh, good. Okay, so I approved it. I put it up there. The only comments I ever don't approve are literal, those ones that are like, I like your video. Please come look at my big tits. I'm like, shut up, whore.
Yeah.
I'm not
This show
approving.
stinks.
Yeah. So, so he says we stink, and I wanted to get into the next O&A news that Anthony Cumia got banned from Twitter, I guess, for supposedly some anti trans. It was a joke. It was
transphobic jokes.
I guess a transphobic joke, which to me is fucking absurd. Because they were the most progressive show about trans issues that I've ever heard, and way back before it was fucking in style. Opie and Anthony, they really were. Because Jim Norton, had his whole history with trans women that he'd banged a bunch of and everything, and he was open about it. And they had like trans models and porn stars and everybody on the show, and they were very fucking accepting and progressive about it back in the early 2000s when this wasn't even cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird for anybody to get on Anthony Cumia about transphobia to me. You know what I mean? I think I
don't know. Everyone's so hypersensitive about everything. If the LGBTQ,
who cares? It's
etc. community chooses an enemy, they're gonna win.
Basically.
They're just gonna outscream.
Well, they have little wins here and there, but then there's a new thing, and the smartest thing people do anymore is completely ignore it and just
right.
hide all their tweets for a couple weeks and then come back when there's some other outrage. And why does this stuff always happen on Twitter? Like, what is it about Twitter that just fuels this stuff where it's not, you don't see this shit coming from like Facebook and Instagram and shit, where it's like, this big scandal. It's always Twitter. This is just the land of bullshit outrage.
You know why? Because
you know what? There's a lot of snark on that website. I don't mind saying.
Here's what it is. Twitter is like a tiny version of Facebook. There's less at stake. It's less personal.
No, there's more at stake.
No, it's totally the to your public image, but it's designed to be like quick fire. It was designed to be used on a mobile phone, so
it's loaded.
That's why it's 160 characters or less, because that's how it used to be with phones. And
with texting, yeah, it's also loaded with people who think that everybody wants to hear all their random thoughts about everything all the time. So I think it fuels a lot of like unnecessary drama in that way.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Fake news.
It's fake news. Twitter users are dumb and self-absorbed and dramatic, and that's why they're on Twitter.
Dude, I got on there a couple different times over the years just to check it out, see because like you do music and shit on YouTube and whatever. You think, okay, I need a Twitter to promote this, and or to provoke this. See, a little fruity and and so. I got on there a couple times and I'm like, this is a bunch of nonsense. Like I didn't get it at all. So I never stuck with it. Does anybody on this show have a Twitter?
I can't read it. That like.
Yeah, it's also weird to read.
Like an old person with all the hashtags and all the weird shit.
Yeah.
Now, Dave, Dave had a phase a few years ago where he was tweeting a lot, like at President Obama. I found one of his old tweets and it was at President Obama and it said, "I'm concerned with the way things are going."
I think he was drawing a red line.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just a couple years ago. I mean, you did experiment with like how to get followers and stuff.
I actually started like picking up speed, but it's exhausting.
It's exhausting, and it's just that there's no reward.
There is no reward. Yeah,
unless you have something tangible to sell to the kind of fan base that's gonna buy it. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, you all, it's not like you're on a talk show all the time that you could fucking promote. But,
I mean, Instagram is better for stuff like that at this point, though. I feel like Twitter is like for celebrities and people who want to hear celebrities talk about whatever shit.
Yeah, anyways, whatever. So who gives a shit about the whole Twitter world for us, I guess. I don't know about
Right.
Get it.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, since
but
since
it
we
just
don't
seems
have
like
Twitter-
it just seems like this shit always comes out of the Twitter world, that it's like this outrage, these people just kind of crusading constantly for a different. And this is obviously why Anthony got fired in the first place. Was
What did
tweeting.
he say?
Right.
The old
Can
tweets.
can we get somebody smarter than us to explain it?
Explain what?
Why Anthony got fired?
Why do we need somebody smarter than us? Nobody smarter than us listens to this show.
What about saying?
Yeah, I guess Sahan is pretty fucking smart. No,
Do we have the tweet?
the old tweets, I don't know off the top of my head. Fuck, you guys can look them up. I mean, one of them, here's what it was. It was a series of tweets. If you don't know the story, which everybody fucking does, but if you don't know the story, he got in like a fight with supposedly an alleged prostitute, an African American lady who he was taking pictures, and she got mad that he was she was in one of his pictures that he was, on the street doing his photography thing. And she came up and started shit with him and ended up hitting him and hitting his camera and stuff like that. And ended up surrounded by, what he says is he ended up surrounded by a bunch of other black guys who came up to like be on her side just because he was white and they were black. And so then he tweeted all this stuff drunk at like 4:30 in the morning after getting in this fucking fight. He tweets all this stuff about like, there's a problem with violence in black communities and blah, blah, blah. And that was not the bad stuff. I think it was more where he said something about they are animals. You know what I mean? And it was like,
Yeah.
it was, I remember
He called
at the
the
time,
woman a cunt rag.
that's fine. And that's fine.
Well.
I think where he got in trouble with something about animals. I don't remember the exact tweet, but it was like people tried to defend it by going, well, no, he was talking about these specific people that he dealt with, but it really wasn't clear in his tweets. Not that I fucking think, don't even start with, that shit. Not that I think he should have been fired. Not that I don't think his job wasn't to be controversial, because it definitely was. And so, whatever, it is what it is. It didn't look good, so.
That's why he got fired?
Yeah, that's why he got fired. Because there was a big Twitter
Okay.
campaign, and then they get boycotts for the fucking advertisers going and blah, blah, blah. And really, the company didn't have to kowtow to that. I think there was probably a bunch of tension before that, because they could have wrote it out for 2 or 3 weeks and everybody would have forgot. That's the nature of shit now. You just wait a few weeks. Nobody's gonna remember anything. I don't remember shit.
That's just how it goes.
I listen to shows we did 3 weeks ago where I knew a whole bunch of shit about something. I'm like, fuck, I don't remember any of this shit. Like, I read about 100 other things since then. This is all just, I got one of those brains like Kelly Bundy where shit just gets pushed out when new stuff comes in. You guys ever saw that episode? No, nobody saw that episode.
No.
All right.
Nope.
She was on a
Sorry.
trivia show. And she forgot something important.
I've got the tweet that got him banned from Twitter, if we want to read that.
Yeah, he was talking. No, you know what we should do? Who better than our old pal Sayan on YouTube to explain this? It's everybody's favorite, by the way. This is who the O&A community have really embraced as the voice of the Opie and Anthony apocalypse, the afterglow of this whole saga. Let's check him out, because I think this will really help put everything in perspective. Everybody loves this guy. Hold on.
Well, it seems today Anthony Cumia was permanently suspended from Twitter for transphobia.
He's permanently suspended. Who says permanently suspended? That's not a.
That's how Twitter said it, though.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Permanently suspended.
Oh shit! Because I made
And they
fun of him.
deleted his account, too, though.
I made fun of him for that in the comments. Permanently suspended? How does that make fucking sense?
I don't know. It's like, I guess their nice way of saying you're out of here.
Why would anyone put those words together? That is some
it
real like
doesn't-
creepy corporate speak, you know? Where you're
Yeah,
like,
totally.
so you're saying what now? Hold on a second. So it's like
We're gonna permanently, temporarily prevent you from continuing.
right, it's indefinite. What? No, it's not indefinite. It's permanent, but it's a suspension. Yes, it's not a termination. It's a suspension. Like, okay. I think I'm gonna run away from the world now. Go in the woods. Goodbye.
I'm not joking. Now this is crazy. I had covered this. It's either in a video, my drunk thing that I did last night, or a live stream I did, where I went over this tweet Anthony sent to this writer who did some like hit piece on Opie's firing, and he called her like a fat fuck trans looking woman. Twitter just permanently suspended Anthony for transphobia. He's banned. He's effectively banned from Twitter.
I have no interest in their retarded opinions. I really don't,
Stupid.
So
what?
wait, where was the tweet there? So he got banned from Twitter for transphobia.
He called an actual woman trans looking. It's something about a trans.
Yeah.
You got the tweet? Somebody have it?
He's talking to a guy named
Talking to your
Future.
mic.
He's talking to a guy named Future Schlock, and it says your inaccurate.
No, it's
shit
not a
piece
guy.
on Opie's
It's a woman named Kate.
Future. Well, whatever.
Kate Rife, I think. I think it's an
He's
actual.
saying to this
Future's a male's name. What?
Future Schlock.
It's not a male's name.
Future Schlock.
It's not.
What is
It's
that?
no. It's no kind of name.
Whatever it is.
Not in my America.
He says your inaccurate shit piece on Opie's firing is almost as embarrassing as a fat old trans looking twat with period red hair.
Yeah, trans looking because she's an actual woman that does look like like a guy that's trying to become a woman. It kind of, she kinda
Nice.
does, with these like bright red hair. Yeah, Andrea, like pull up a few facts on her or something as we go along, because she's some whatever douchey writer. Her article was
Trans
terrible.
looking twat.
Yeah, she is a trans looking twat. He was right on the money. And I read the article earlier. I'm like, whatever. It was
Twitter
totally
is censoring
uninformed.
facts.
It was totally uninformed bullshit. Anyways, back to our old pal, Sayhan. Hold on.
Twitter. Permanently suspended and banned are the same things, though. Well, that should hurt compound media. Yo, what is going on with these niggas, yo? Like,
Oh shit! Is this guy
July
black?
is not a good month for
Niggas.
the Opie and Anthony brand. Like, Anthony got fired over July 4th weekend. Opie got fired over July 4th weekend. And now Anthony gets banned from Twitter in July.
Sorry, man, that's bullshit.
You can still technically count this as part of the holiday for July 4th. So.
No, you can't. It's a week later. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, you can still count this. As part
And
of the
especially
July.
if you're gonna throw technically in that sentence. No, you
Yeah.
cannot technically count July 12th as July 4th. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm gonna have to draw a line somewhere. Technically, those are different dates, and different weeks. You
Yeah.
fucking fat-tongued
God
idiot.
damn it.
Shouldn't this guy be? Shouldn't this guy be like creeping out a bunch of junior high kids at a bowling alley right now? What is he doing making these videos? Like,
Yeah, he's late for a NAMBLA meeting.
yeah, like showing his neighbor his baseball card collection. Like, you want to see my baseball cards? My baseball cards. Like, no, you're 41. Get out of here. What are you
Yeah.
doing? Dude, yeah, this.
There's one in every neighborhood.
You know, I like how we're starting we've been talking about going after other YouTubers more, and we want to start more of a culture of battling on YouTube. And it's like the first level of a video game. We'll just go after this kind of retarded guy first, just to make sure, you know, like the first level of Mortal Kombat. It's not
Right.
it's not going to be
This
difficult.
is how we
whatever.
learn the controls.
Right, exactly.
Kind of
Yeah.
retarded.
I mean,
Yeah.
he'll actually address that in this video. Hold on.
Shit's funny. Like, I didn't think the tweet was that bad.
It wasn't
He
that
was a
bad.
person personally involved in a story, and like I read this story. This bitch, she thought Jimmy was still working with Opie. If you actually read what this lady wrote, she didn't know nothing about the show, which was sort of his point. And then, you know, Anthony Cumia, he goes off on people. Very hilarious. So, yeah, Anthony's been banned on Twitter. Yo.
Yeah.
That's a motherfucker, too, because he had all the shit on
So,
Twitter
yeah.
followers, so... I don't know how you promote stuff. He still has, like, I guess the Compound Media probably has a Twitter still and stuff, so he could just do that, but I doubt
There's a
had
smoke
as many
detector
followers
going
as
off
his
in the
personal
background.
account.
He's making a fucking video with a smoke detector beeping. Did you hear that?
Change your battery, fucking idiot.
What the fuck are you
Or
doing?
go in the other room.
And you just hear his wife and retarded Spawn babbling in the background off and on. There's like a TV in the background and shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing? There it is.
I doubt
got
it had as many
a
stuff, so he could
video.
just do that, but I doubt it had as many followers as his personal account. Damn, yeah, this motherfucker. It's crazy,
I feel
yo.
bad.
Twitter's bullshit too. Like they be suspending. They'll never suspend anyone left wing.
This guy is like
Well,
a
I gotta
fucking
say,
Gold.
Alex did say the exact same thing to me before the show. No, they be suspending. They never suspend anybody left wing. Pretty
Yeah,
much
I
the same
phrase it
thing.
exactly like that.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But it is true. I mean, for whatever reason, you know. And I think a lot of that shit at this point is just to convince people that there still should be a left and a right wing. Like, they got to keep you fighting somehow. So we'll show favoritism here and we'll show favoritism here and just keep you fucking
Well, I'll
idiots
bet
just, you know, going at
the
each other's
left-wing
throats.
people are honestly more likely to sit there on Twitter and report people.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, of course. Well, it's funny how much in our lifetimes left-wing people, you know, free speech used to be a left-wing issue more in the 80s and 90s when they were trying to censor more art and stuff like that, you know. And it's funny how fully it's shifted to now it's a completely right-wing issue. And if you even talk about free speech, people put you in that right-wing camp. Everything's fucking insane now. All right,
Yeah.
back to Corky. Whatever. Hold on.
And the fact that they suspended, like, when they suspended Milo, I would never agree with that, Milo Yiannopoulos. But you might understand it from a business point as, what was it, Leslie Jones?
Yeah, we might understand it from a business point, but you don't. Fucking Lenny. Soup head.
As me blocked on Twitter. Thank you very much. Leslie
Did you hear that?
had
Wait.
way much.
Hold on, he's real proud.
What was it, Leslie Jones, who has me blocked on Twitter. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Leslie had way
All
more
the
Twitter
dick pics.
followers than
Big
mine. So
man.
you can almost see it as a business decision. Anthony has way more followers than that bitch does. The bitch he just got suspended. Hell, I think I might have
Go to bed.
more followers than her. We have the same.
We talked
I
about
think we're
the B
both.
word.
I got over 1,000, and I think she might have more, but she has around 1,000.
Yeah, stop playing with your father's mobile. You know how he gets jealous.
Oh boy.
He doesn't like to share his Matchbox cars. Now put those away. What's wrong, Alex?
What do you mean?
Oh, I don't know. I thought you felt bad or something. You're not saying anything.
Oh no, I was walking in the other room to get a beer, and I came back when you said that.
You're off to a fine start.
Wow, this is amazing.
All right. Well, let's finish this up.
So,
What's this guy?
What the fuck?
too funny.
Dead air.
I was planning on doing an interesting video too until this news popped up.
I was gonna do an interesting video.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Anthony.
I'm not gonna do an interesting video.
Really, what-
Permanently
What
suspended.
kind of things interest this guy? You know,
Yeah, what would it be?
I was gonna do a video of me staring at a lava lamp for 48 minutes. It's going wow.
Thought I'd count my fingers and my toes.
What do stupid
It'll
people
take me
do?
all day.
Followed by an hour of picking at my belly button.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Well, I gotta say he's sort of inspiring
Yeah. Well,
because if a retard can put out a video like that, I mean,
that's what
He,
got. That's
he pumps out like 5 videos a day. This guy's legit.
yeah. Is he
well,
getting a
you
lot-
can't
is-
get bogged down with details like quality when you're putting out that quantity.
Or details like definitions.
I believe the word we're all searching for here is prolific. You know, if we're gonna be honest.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is unparalleled in his genre of creepy middle-aged retard with a MacBook.
Talks about whatever pops into his head
Yeah,
for 15 minutes.
anything. He's just got videos of him opening and closing a refrigerator door. Trying to figure out if the light stays on after I close the door. Because a friend of mine told me that he thinks the light might stay on the whole time. I just don't know. Creak.
AKA banned from Twitter. I wonder if,
What was
now
that?
Milo never started a new Twitter. Now, I know people get banned as suspended from Twitter all the time, and they just start new ones. But that's only because I think of anonymity.
Oh, here we go.
I said that wrong.
Yep.
Anonymity.
There you go.
I'm drinking
There
beer
we
plus
go.
I'm half
That's a
retarded.
tough
so-
one.
But
You missed it.
anonymity.
Hold on.
I'm drinking beer plus I'm half retarded, so. But but I don't know if a celebrity.
So here's the funny thing: was that a joke or was that real?
I don't know.
I don't honestly know.
If it's real, that's some good self-awareness.
Right, like
Yeah.
I kind of like him if it's real. If he's actually retarded and this is the best he can do, then look, okay, good for you. We're just busting your retarded balls a little bit. But you know, if he's just kind of an idiot. By the way, where's the line? You know, I've met a lot of people out there that, boy, they are right on that line, like wherever it is.
You know what's weird? When I was in high school, I knew a person named Borderline Ben, and we called him that because he was borderline retarded.
Okay.
And he identified himself as retarded and would tell people, "Oh, I'm borderline retarded," and that was the language that he used. So, is it like a thing that only they're allowed to say, or?
No, retard.
On Twitter, probably.
On Twitter, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but there has to be a line if someone can be borderline. I just don't know.
YouTube,
How do you measure it?
I gotta say, YouTube, you still get away with a lot, as long as it doesn't get too far, as long as it doesn't get picked up on too heavily. We did shit in the early shows that I'm still nervous about. I'm like, oh
Well,
god,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Me
audio,
too.
yeah.
audio's fine. It's the visual stuff they worry about.
David Box, you get nervous about some of that stuff.
Yeah, that I think about that Hitler episode.
Yeah, yeah.
some of the
And,
Jews in my
like,
life, I
the-
don't know what I'm gonna
the
do.
flat Earth and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's I'm not contesting
It's
it. I said all those
fine.
things.
it was entertaining at the time, but then I look back, there's like so many people in my life that I know that if they ever heard that would probably never look at me the same way again. There would be no coming back from it.
Yeah. Totally.
Well, okay, so you guys can go, if you're new listeners,
here we are.
you can go peruse some of the older content and try to find some of the weird shit. Remember and my original co-host somehow didn't know that it was illegal to threaten to kill the president, and and he did that.
He never did that, but
Yeah, sure. Oh, well, that's right. I'm sorry. He
just didn't.
he just didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just all of a sudden started talking backwards for a few seconds once in a while.
He used to do that though when he would drink. It happened.
That's what I would do. I would just edit. I would just edit those parts backwards, and so it would kind of have like, and then you just hear everybody like, "What? No, stop!" Well, what, dude? What do you mean? It's free speech. Like, no, that's like the one thing that you can't fucking say, dude. That's like the only thing. Well, I've never heard of that. Remember how he had never heard of shit that was like
heard of anything, but he knew everything about Lyme disease.
he would know.
That's because everything was Lyme disease.
Right. He would know. He would like not have heard of the Grateful Dead, but then all of a sudden he would like explain a quark to you, and you'd be like, okay, what the fuck is going on with this guy? Like how is this thing walking around in society? So anyways, Anthony kicked off. We don't actually give a shit because we're not on Twitter. But
No, fuck you.
You know what? Fuck that. That's really fucking sensitive. If we're going to get down to it for a moment here. That is really oversensitive.
Fuck Twitter.
There was a time, I swear to God, that like it seemed like trans people had such a great sense of humor. You remember that? Does anybody remember this? Like there was a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a time where like the whole thing had a culture of like kind of laughing at itself and whatever and realizing that it's gonna seem a little weird to a lot of people, and it's probably gonna take a few years for this to totally be filtered out of the silly part of society of people going, oh, look at that, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's still
I feel like through that evolution, there's also been like some sense of entitlement has been earned, where they feel like now people don't deserve to feel weird about it and no one gets to make a joke about it anymore. We used it all up.
Yeah, we did do it a lot.
Well, we had a good run.
We had a good run, yeah.
Well, but also, there's also like people are being hyper aware and hypersensitive of like the difference between trans and a drag queen or a cross dresser, because they're different things. And I think for a while they were all lumped together. And like cross dressing is fun.
Right, like people
changing your gender is like it's like a more heavy emotional thing,
People now are figuring out like all the layers to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, like somebody that performs at a drag show is not a fucking trans person, or whatever. But yeah, a short time ago that wasn't really understood, I guess.
Yeah.
Are there like alternative pronouns that are going to be forced upon me in the coming days?
No, because that shit is over, dude. They had their little reign for the past few years, to be honest, and it's a whole dude. It's
not over.
It's not over for some people, but it's over for me. I'm done with it. Like, and there's a lot of people out there that we just need to make that mental switch of why are we paying so much attention to these people? All the people that sit there. Like, one of the big reasons I don't watch Compound Media is because they sit there focusing on fucking mentally ill weirdos constantly. Well, what did we just do for the past 20 minutes? But
I was like, ooh.
Yep. God damn it. All right. Yeah.
You talked backwards for a second. That
you
was
win
weird.
this one, retard.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Okay, we've only made fun of this guy once, but like how many times can you sit there and rail on about college kids doing this whole fucking gender stuff and trying to redefine everything like that, and they find some value in it, to be honest. if you know, I've had a few awkward confrontations where people didn't like things I said, and I just told them, hey, look, that's fine with me. I got nothing against you. You don't have to talk to me if you don't like the way I talk. That's fine. And then we didn't talk. And so, like, that's where I'm at in life. I'm like, these people can fucking do all their shit, whatever, get Twitter things shut down. I just don't care to fucking engage them anymore. It's boring, you know?
Yeah. I agree to a point. Okay, I'm going to tell you about a crazy thing I don't know if you know about, where 2 people had a baby and the hospital did not register, at the request of the parents, the hospital did not register a gender. They marked the gender with an X, and it's the first time ever that a medical facility has said the gender will be determined by the human when it is time.
Where was it? Eugene, Oregon?
Oh.
No, but speaking of Oregon, they
Okay.
they just
Go ahead.
they just started a genderless the driver's license, so you can now put X instead of M or F. For male
That's
or female.
crazy. Do you know what kind of criminals will take advantage of this to just hide their identity?
Yeah. Somebody think of the children.
No, like what you're talking about has made its way into laws, and Canada has
Yeah,
already.
I know,
Totally.
but
But, like,
honestly,
this is,
who
like,
who
a
gives
medical
a
staff
shit,
that,
dude?
like,
Sorry. Go ahead.
like just looks and sees if there's either a penis or a vagina and then writes it on a thing. And so like this doctor saw the thing that determines what your gender is and said, you know what? Not this.
Jesus Christ.
Like
Your
that
gender-
is a
your
bizarre
gender is a
change,
choice
I
now,
think.
and it
Yeah.
can change from year, and it doesn't matter, you know. It
Yeah,
fluctuates.
dude, I just don't care about it at all. Like, I just don't know. I mean, like, I guess if I had a friend who was really affected by this or something, or I don't know, for whatever reason, I was more, I just am not interested. It just seems like such a fucking tiny minority of people that really deal with it. And I just don't care that much. Is that all right? Like, I just don't fucking give a shit one way or the other. I don't care. I just don't. Yeah, I just don't care, dude. I just finally
How did we
realized that.
even get on this?
I don't know,
Oh, yeah.
but because of Anthony.
Because
but-
Anthony said trans, yeah.
But we always would, for a while, like, focus on this. Like, can you believe this? Biology says there's 2 genders. These people are going crazy. Or we were never that bad, really, but we were like, just kind of making fun of it a lot and stuff. And now I'm just like, ugh,
Yeah.
whatever,
It's just,
dude.
it's done.
It's over. Everybody.
It's not even funny anymore.
Yeah, they're just annoying now. Just go away. Shut up. Don't care. I hope
They get a lot of sway though, and you're a business, and there's 100 different genders. Do you have to have like 100 different bathrooms?
I think at that point you have to board up the front windows and sit on the roof with a shotgun, just drinking bourbon, just waiting.
It's time.
It's time. They're coming.
I don't know what they are.
Exactly. I don't know what they are, but I'm not
They don't
sticking
matter.
around in a world where they're accepted. That's it. Fucking sniper rifle and a CB radio on top of the roof. Cooler full of fucking beer and sandwiches. Braunschweiger sandwiches.
Beer cans.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess the very end of this retards video that we were playing. That's the other thing.
Oh, there's more?
We always say retard and fag on this show. Do you know how fucking outdated that is at this point? Like, nobody does that shit anymore. I even feel a little bit bad for how much I say faggot, to be honest, because I don't know why. I think I'm just starting to fall for it because so many people have dropped off. There are very few faggot sayers anymore. And Jesus,
that's true.
Our rampant use of that old N-word once in a while, and not in like a malicious way, but just being
It's always funny.
Not but like just being the times that we've had to discuss it as a word or whatever, and like I think a lot of people would really be uncomfortable at 4 white people saying nigger 85 times in an hour. You know what I mean? Like there's each. There's very few people left.
It was a race.
There's very few people left out there. The faggot curve. If you could see like a graph of the amount of people that use the word faggot, you know, I think you'd start off probably back in like the 30s or something, and it would have this slow, steady increase, probably all the way to like the early 90s, and then it's like an organism in a biological, you know, graph where they show like the populations of organisms and in their environment, and then they get to like a crucial level, and their food supply drops off. All of the faggot food supply dropped off, and we couldn't get fed off it anymore. No more laughs, no more acceptance, and all of a sudden you just saw that exponential rise just hit a fucking point that it just crashed. And we're experiencing the great faggot crash of 2017 right now, actually. And and no,
like you can't say it.
I've got a ticker here, actually, right here next to my desk. That's giving me the little faggot stock report.
The real-time results.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's slowly. Remember, like 10 years ago, everybody fucking threw a faggot in here, here and there.
Just all the time.
Yeah. I mean,
everywhere.
Even the most polite,
or a dime a dozen.
Even the most polite people would go like, "What? I'm not a faggot." Once in a while, you know what I mean? And now it's really gotten to where like I don't say it in like at the bar or anything, like, you know what I mean, around a bunch of people I don't know or anything like that. I wouldn't do that anymore. On my little show here, though, you know what I mean, I guess I'll do just about anything, and you never know what you might hear on the Overdose Talk Show.
I do ever
that
think
was real faggy.
Yeah, do you think that maybe that had something to do with your age during that time? Because I'm remembering like when I was a teenager, I went through a long phase of saying, like, calling my friends nigger or nigga.
I still do that.
We used to always say to each other.
We've talked about that before, though, how that's white people's reaction to being told we're not allowed to say it. So we say it in secret to each other all the fucking time. I don't know if black people know that, but like, 90% of white people that you know call each other up like, "What's up, nigga?" Like, it's just constant.
Yeah.
Like, it's.
We used to just say to each other, just for no reason, we would just say to each other, "Nigga, be for real." And that was just like a response to anything. Like, we were shocked. "Nigga, be for real."
There was a lot of Dave Chappelle quotes thrown around back then in white circles. You know, "Fuck your couch, nigga." There was a lot of that going on.
Oh, yeah. God.
Okay, did we get to 85 yet? No. See, dude, we're never gonna be successful. This sucks.
No.
Because everyone's.
You're nothing but a slacker, you know that?
I feel like the samples have been really off tonight. Sorry about that, everybody. We're usually better at that. Okay, let's do this. Let's hit a quick break and come back and talk about some more, some more outrageous issues here in the United States of America.
You're a bitch.
Who? You better not be talking about Lady Liberty, I'll tell you that much. We'll be back on the Overdose Talk Show, where we keep it American 100% of the time. Hey, come here. Huh?
All right, let's go.
I couldn't find a sweatshirt, so I put on a suit jacket because it's fucking freezing in here. What is this? Thanks.
Tell her to join the show.
Grab that mic for a second.
I'm not done.
Okay,
yeah, just
for a second, dude.
All right.
Come on.
Not that one. No, you can't. You're not going to be able to hear on the headphones. You can?
Yeah, they're plugged in from last time.
Oh shit, that's right. Okay. You can hear?
Yes, I can hear.
Hi.
Yo.
Hey, what's
Hello.
up?
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hello.
Darcy's here.
Thanks,
They were
all here.
They were laughing at me a minute ago because I was telling them that we have bunk beds in our room, and and that we don't sleep in the same bed. But we don't sleep in the. Well, you sleep on the top bunk.
I sleep on the top bunk, and then Vinny sleeps in a completely separate bed.
We have 3 beds. Yeah. They all came with
What
the
do you use
apartment.
the bottom bunk for?
Clothes, cats.
Whatever
you know.
finds
Nice.
its way there.
Yeah.
Lots of yarn.
Yeah.
There's lots of yarn.
Bunch of yarn, bunch of random.
I could see that.
bunch of random bric-a-brac, as they say, right? Isn't that?
We've slept together the past 2 nights.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, it's awful. I
TMI.
didn't want to be the first one to say it.
No, it's it is a terrible thing to sleep with.
When are you
another-
expecting?
Like I don't understand couples that sleep in the same bed.
Like all
It's-
next to each
It's
other.
fucking horrible.
I hate it. I hate sleeping in the same bed with someone.
Dude,
Aw,
Vinny also has
I like it.
Do you guys have really small beds or what?
It's like a queen. The when Vinny sleeps in.
no, it's pretty big.
It's
Yeah,
like a queen or it is a queen.
I don't know what all the sizes are. It's a queen, all right. It's a queen. But every night he sleeps.
Enough about Alex. Let's get back to the bed.
No, every night Vinny
No,
somehow
everybody-
manages to pull all of the pillowcases off the pillows and have all of the blankets underneath him.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So there's
That's
no
not
way
how
to
you sleep, or?
That's not. How do you sleep next to that?
No, I sleep like a maniac. I roll around and like I do about.
Yeah,
I sleep like a war vet with like PTSD, just like writhing around, like jerking awake, like what? Like,
No, I just
really-
end up on a bare mattress with half of a pillow and like the edge of a blanket.
no, and then I wake up and do something crazy for like 5 seconds and
Yeah.
and start yelling or something. It's not totally involuntary. It's just it's that when you're sleepy, sometimes you lack inhibition, and all of a sudden you just go like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
No, does that not happen to you guys?
It happens. Yeah, no, it happens. Sure.
You just start poking whoever's there.
I woke up the other night after a long night of drinking with all the pans and pots from the kitchen in my room on the carpet.
Are you serious?
I had no idea what happened, and I've been slowing it down a lot since then.
What the fuck? That's kind of
Good one.
creepy. You got all
Yeah.
the pans and pots and brought it into your room where you're staying and
Yeah,
just set them all up on the
It
floor?
was like, and it was like spread around my bed
Mm,
Wow.
on the
yeah.
carpet.
They were protecting you.
No,
That is fucked up.
be honest. Did you also pee somewhere weird? You did. I can already do it. You totally
No.
did. Yes, you did.
No,
Yes, you
no.
did. Yes,
do that?
You fucking did.
No, I don't.
Yes,
do that.
you fucking did.
I've pissed on
You just
myself.
don't know where it
before. I
is.
did not do that this time.
You didn't? Okay, but you have.
Oh yeah.
You're one of those fucking people. I never understood how there's so many people out there that have gotten so drunk that you gotta go.
I gotta go.
All right, thanks for
I'll
hanging
be
out,
back.
Darcy.
Bye, guys.
We'll see you
Okay,
later.
bye.
Bye.
It's called piss drunk.
Yeah, okay, wow, very clever, indeed.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But
Yeah.
I never understood how there's so many people that have that fucking story that like they get that drunk. Like I've had a couple of friends do it. One time, my friend Paul we were moving into a house, and he started peeing. He woke up out of a stupor. Right, we saw him walk out of the room, and he went into my office, and we're like, what is he doing in there? Me and another friend of mine, we go look, and I had a speaker sitting in the very middle of my room on this hardwood floor, and he's just peeing directly onto the top of this one speaker. And it was a big, like 3 foot tall, like wooden, old school, home stereo speaker, and he's just peeing right onto the top of it. And I looked at him for a second. I'm like, this is fucking retarded, because this was the 3rd time that he'd peed somewhere weird in a house that I was renting over the years. There was another time that I had beaten the living shit out of him. There was another time that he peed in the hamper, and I was wasted, and I was sick of people fucking up my stuff. You know what I mean? When you're like 23,
Yeah.
and all your friends they live at their parents' house, and they come to your fucking house and fuck shit up. and I was just past the point, and I came in the bathroom and saw him peeing in the hamper, and just grabbed him and just jacked him in the face like fucking 6 times, just over and over, just as hard as I could, just punched him, and then he was like fell to the floor. He's like, oh, why you hitting me? And I was like, fuck you, I've had enough of this fucking shit. Fuck you, pussy. And I was dragging him by his hair. There was this guy there that I had just started working with like a few months before, who was there recording, because I had the home studio where they're working on music and stuff, and he's recording, and he sees me do this, and I'm like just punching my friend in the face, and then I dragged him by the hair all the way through the fucking house, all the way to the front door, while he's just going like, no, stop, and I'm like, no, fuck you, and I dragged him outside. And like stood him up against the house and like hit him in the face a couple more times, and then in the body a couple times, and then just like kicked him in the leg and like threw him on the ground. I'm like, fuck you. And so my other friend finally comes out and goes, dude, stop, what are you doing? And I was like, all right, you're right. And he takes him, he just grabs him and throws him in the car and just drives away. He's like, I got to get him out of here before you kill him. And so he drives him to the gas station, like, a half mile away, and he's like, dude, his face is all, he calls me, he's like, his face is all fucked up. The fuck is wrong with you? I'm like, dude, he's pissed in my house twice now, okay? He breaks glasses, all right? He spills shit on the fucking carpet. He burns the couch. What the fuck, dude? Enough is enough. He doesn't do this shit at his parents' house, where he fucking lives like a little faggot. But I'm paying rent and working full time, and he wants to come here and fuck around constantly. Enough, dude. I'm gonna fuck him up. So then the next time he did it, we're, like I said, we see him peeing on my speaker, and I just grabbed him by the front of his shirt, and I punched him square like a cowboy movie across the jaw. Like perfect, just like cinematic style. Just like grab someone by the shirt and like reel back, because he's dead drunk. He's like asleep on his feet. So you just telegraph it, and you just reel back and just fucking hit him right in the jaw, and he goes flying across the room, and he hits the wall back first, and he sinks down. This is why I say like a cowboy movie, because he sinks down slowly to the ground and just passes out and starts snoring. And the whole thing with, by the way, his dick still out, still peeing on his pant leg. So hold on. So the image of that, we come in, we see him. It was me and my friend Max, and we come in, we see him. We do that. He falls back against the wall, still peeing on himself, and starts snoring. We fucking ran around the house, jumping up and down, laughing for like 45 minutes, dude. We went fucking insane. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life. We were literally, probably, like I said, whatever, 23, 24, just running as fast as we could and just jumping as high as we could and screaming and laughing. It's like that was the greatest thing that's ever fucking happened. Like, to see somebody slide down a wall pissing on themselves still and start snoring while they're still pissing like that, I will never see anything better than that. One thing that I may have seen better than that, I was at a bar. Can I just keep doing this? I was at a bar in Michigan, and then we'll get to the real thing. I was at this fucking shithole bar in Baldwin, Michigan, and getting shit-faced out in the middle of nowhere. Huh?
At the cabin? Yeah,
at Alex's dad's cabin. And me and your dad, Alex, we're at this bar. We get shit-faced. Of course, your dad thinks he's going to pick up some fucking, trailer trash 35-year-olds or something. And he's in there trying to work on some broads playing that fucking salty hockey puck bowling game. That thing? You know what I'm talking about? That like
no.
Where the bowling pins hang down from the top and you fucking slide a hockey puck.
Oh, yeah.
And it picks up sensors and the pins go up. You know what I'm talking about? They had that kind of shit. All right, so whatever. They're in there doing that. And I was outside with this couple about my age, and we're smoking a bunch of weed and stuff. And this lady that's about like 30 and her mom who's about 60 come stumbling out of the front of the bar, and they're like, they didn't see us because we're sitting kind of in the shadows on the side of the place, and they go, come on, Mom. The daughter's like, come on, Mom. We got to go home. You're wasted. And she's like, no, I gotta pee first. Hang on. So she walks like 3 feet away from us. We're sitting in the shadows and we didn't say anything. And she pulls down her fucking jeans all the way around her ankles and puts her back against the wall. So her legs, her knees and her, are like at a 90-degree angle.
Like a wall sit?
Yeah, so she's like doing a wall sit and she pees like a fucking waterfall, dude. It was like somebody turned the faucet on full fucking stream. It was ridiculous. It just hit the ground. Like, the old cliche would be the racehorse. It hit the ground with that kind of force, just like where there was like dust where it hit the ground. There was like dust billowing up, from the dirt because it was hitting it that hard. And we were right next to her, to where I was the closest one to her, and I was actually a little bit worried that pee would splash onto my jeans. And the whole time, her daughter's yelling at her, Mom, are you pissing on the side of the building? And she's like, yeah, I've been pissing here for 25 years. Shut up. And it just like this like real like, and me and these two people that had just met and were just got really high were like literally hands over our mouths, just like, and somehow she fucking didn't look at us the entire time. She was that wasted, and finishes peeing. Okay, this is the part where I know it sounds made up. Just like I know the last one sounded made up. This is two stories that are absolutely fucking true. She goes, they're still yelling at each other, blah, 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 blah. She goes, okay, I'm coming. And she tries to get out of this position, which for a 60-year-old drunk woman doing a wall sit against a building, she can't quite figure it out. She should have just extended her legs up and started working her feet back, but she tried to swing herself straight upwards. You know what I mean? So she loses her footing and falls down directly in her entire puddle of fucking piss. And at that time, we gave up and we just started laughing and running away. And we just ran around. The back of the building. I'm like, that was funny enough. I really don't want to watch an old lady pick herself up out of a puddle of piss. I was good watching her fall in it, but that's about as far as I want to go. I don't really want to watch her fucking get out of it slowly and with muddy, and she gets up and her elbows are fucking piss mud, and it's like sticking to them. Oh, Jesus. So we just ran around the back and just...
so she knows you're there.
Dude, those are two of the hardest I've ever laughed. That's got to be two of my top fucking 10 ever in my life of the hardest I've ever fucking... Like, to where you go, like, you're worried that you're going to start asphyxiating, You're like... You can't, you literally
like a panic,
can't... Dude, you cannot breathe. Yeah, so whatever. I don't know why I thought of those now. I guess we should probably get back to the show,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Here, let's see. We'll just... it's time to come back on the Overdose Talk Show. Shut up, Alex. We need music to come back, stupid. Here, listen to this. Oh, we're back on the Overdose Talk Show. What's going on?
Hey.
David Box, when we first went to break, you were... Yeah, what were you saying?
That last guy from the segment, is he actually fucking retarded?
I think maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just calling him a fucking retard the whole time.
I guess we did, yeah. I think we did. But look, like
it's
I said,
the Hitler episode all over again. I just like, I'm gonna regret everything.
I like how we make fun of an actually retarded guy for 20 minutes and then go like, some of the stuff we used to do way back when really gets me nervous sometimes.
Yeah, that's really regrettable.
Yeah, a lot of that shit, man. I'm glad we've come as far as we have.
We've really evolved.
I'm glad we're really above a lot of that kind of stuff. Yeah. Definitely, yeah. I'm not exactly sure, honestly. I have, being in hip hop and shit and involved in like local hip hop around the country, I've had that question about a few people. To be honest with you, there have been a few things I've seen that I'm like, okay, so this guy is definitely retarded, and everybody's just like supporting him to be nice, right? And, I'm never quite sure.
I feel like YouTube is honest enough that no one on YouTube is nice.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's a weird culture, development that I've seen in places like Reddit and 4chan and stuff where, I think, like we were saying before, like, we've almost kind of made fun of shit enough, and it's coming around to the place of, like, okay, where's the real comedy at? Where are people really doing shit? You know what I mean? In some of those deeper communities that used to be all about the meanness, I've seen this turn in the past, like, year where it's sort of like, oh, dude, wow. So edgy, so, blah, blah, blah. Like, why don't you do something real? You know what I mean? So I think it's, I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is we shouldn't have done what we did.
Oh.
Why, David Box, do you feel bad?
Free speech.
Yeah, it's free speech, David Box. And we're not on Twitter.
It's free speech.
Faggot.
That's true.
Fuck this chowder head.
Oh.
And it's not just that he's retarded, it's that he was saying retarded things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the difference. See, that's what people don't understand. We're not making fun of his retardation.
All right, I'm back. I feel good. I'm not sorry about the Hitler thing or anything. I take none of it back.
Yeah, I know. That's the rough thing about this show is because you get into topics and we try to have that flow of like actually just saying whatever fucking comes to mind and sticking to it to a certain degree in terms of at least our right to say it and blah blah blah. But then do you ever have a day where you're like hungover and tired and you feel kind of weak and you think about some of that stuff and you're like, oh god, I would hate to have to fucking defend that right now. Like it just like when you're feeling strong.
I hope no one ever says anything about that.
Yeah, when you're feeling strong and indignant, it's funny, and we go like wherever the fuck we want. But then there are those times where you're just feeling like, oh god, I hope this never comes up because I just am tired. Yeah. I'm just tired. Like, you don't feel like dealing with it, and I wish we had like some, benign show about history or something. There's those times too.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to do. It is weird. Whatever. You know what else is weird? To go back 16 years to get mad at something. But
it happens.
Yeah,
all the time.
I was watching old episodes of Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher, who Bill Maher is somebody.
Why?
Dude, I don't know. You know why? Because I was watching Tough Crowd, and
okay.
Somehow it came up in the suggestions, and I was like, man. And I honestly couldn't really remember what the show was like, so I was like, I'll check out a few of these old Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher's, and that was the show, right?
Yeah.
What does he do now? Real time. Yeah. Okay.
Real time. Yeah.
So,
Real time.
So I found this episode with Sarah Silverman, and I watched it, and it made me so fucking mad.
It's insufferable.
It's the worst fucking thing ever.
Yeah, it has to do with a joke that she made that was supposedly insensitive to Asians, which when you hear the joke, I think that's fucking ridiculous. Because the whole joke relies around the premise that the thing she says is a terrible thing to say. You know what I mean? And when you hear it, you'll get that. Isn't that true though? Like, isn't that the whole purpose of the joke? Is she's like, I was trying to think of a terrible thing to say.
Yeah, she literally, that's in the setup. I mean,
exactly. And it's like, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say before we get too far into this, I don't really like her or Bill Maher, but I tend to agree with them during this.
Yeah, you guys are always down on Sarah Silverman.
Which is annoying to me for some reason.
I honestly think, especially for a female comedian, she's really not bad, and she's made me laugh a lot of times, to be honest. I don't know, you guys never liked her, and I know most, she's been kind of annoying politically at times too. And
yeah,
shit,
she's been, especially lately, she's been really annoying politically.
And so I'm not a fan of her for that stuff. I just think, she comes from the days of where she really was a legit comedian who paid her dues, and like I've said before, it's kind of hard to hate anyone who was on Mr. Show. So I like
it's true, and she has done some funny things. I mean, obviously, she's very famous for doing things that a lot of people think are funny, but I don't know, I find her generally annoying and like provocative for no reason. Like, kind of like she tries, I don't know, it's like shock comedy to me because she's like, "Oh, I'm a woman and I say vagina," and you know.
I get it. Whatever. I just think she's had funny jokes over the years, and I thought some of that TV
totally.
show was pretty funny. So, even though whatever. Who cares? Anyway, we've had this conversation. Let's look back to 2001, all the way back to a time when the internet was barely accessible to a lot of us. It was still in its infancy in a lot of ways, before the days of YouTube, before Facebook, hell, even before MySpace. Yes, there was a time where we muddled around with flip phones, and if you wanted to masturbate, you had to download JPEGs and all kinds of shit. You know, it was a terrible time. But let's look back through this time portal.
Time looker.
Time looker. Look back through this old timey looking glass to 2001. Politically Incorrect with Sarah Silverman. She's about to explain the joke that got her in trouble. Oops. How do I get rid of this old-timey music? It's actually this came standard in the time machine.
This is just what 2001 sounded like.
This was the soundtrack of you guys remember that shit, right? Everybody used to be chilling at the club. Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding.
Sipping iced teas.
You guys remember Bring Ting Ting was like #1 for like 7 weeks that summer. Oh.
Yeah, I would stay up all night, crush brisk teas, and listen to that.
Hell yeah, dude! With your sideways visor upside down, and your like cargo khaki shorts and polo shirt.
Yeah, and your Razor scooter.
We're white. Okay. That's our 2001 references. That's the whitest shit of all time. Fucking everything we just said. All right, here we go. Sarah Silverman explaining the joke that got her in trouble.
Hear the joke? Tell it as quickly as you can. Because I'm sick of it by now.
Likewise. It's a joke about getting a jury duty notice, and you got to fill out this form, and you send it in, and you're randomly selected, and I don't want to do jury duty.
No one does.
So I'm filling out the form, and my friend said, why don't you write something really inappropriate, like I hate chinks, you know? And I'm thinking, yeah, but when you think about it, I don't want people to think that of me, you know? I just want to get out of jury duty. So I just filled out the form, and I wrote, I love chinks.
I like that joke, dude. I honestly do. I know it's not the most genius joke of all time, but I think it works as a fucking joke. I like it.
It certainly did back then.
It's fine. I mean...
You should see David Spade, after she tells it, he's like laughing, and then he tries to stop laughing real fast, like he thinks he shouldn't be because of the audience reaction. And the Asian guy next to him, the guy that's going to be mad about this, he looks like a lot of fun, by the way. And he just stares at her like stone-faced, like, oh... You dishonor my family.
What a caricature they got for that guy. Yeah. It's like
you dishonor my culture. Sorry.
Yeah, they did get like the most Chinese-looking Chinese
he looks
guy
like
they
a
could find.
ching-chong Chinaman.
Yeah.
He's like...
I mean, if you said draw a chink, I would have drew this guy's face.
I would be so happy if somebody re-edited this video and put one of those Chinese hats on this guy. One of the, like...
Oh, I could do that, no problem.
You should do it. Come on. Can you please do that for the thumbnail?
Like
can
Lord Raiden's hat?
Can we throw a Chinese hat on this guy just for the thumbnail of this episode, please?
Yeah,
just for a still, you know?
We can put that up.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, can you whip that
I'll make
together
them farming some rice, too.
Yeah, before you go to bed, if you don't mind, whip that up really quick and send it to me.
Oh.
Just that, but that's just the hat. Just throw a hat on it. All right, that's it. The Chinese hat.
Like a farmer's Chinese hat.
We know what kind, like Raiden.
Yeah, like
Raiden. Yeah.
Raiden.
Yeah.
Anyway,
all right.
This guy is horrible.
Okay, so if we skip three minutes in this video, we'll get his name is Guy Aoki, Chinaman.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get his initial response to the joke.
This is not a guy that built the railroads here, man. Hold on a second. Let's check him out.
For the initiative, for those who don't know, I mean, calling a Chinese person a chink is the same thing as calling a black person nigger.
Absolutely.
This is the way we take it, and we don't think that racial slurs should be used in this kind of off-the-cuff kind of way because it gives more permission for people to use it in less appropriate situations.
If I might just interrupt for 1 second to address our censors directly. This is going to be a show about
blah blah blah. Shut up, you nervous Jew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. That guy's a bummer, huh? He really kind of takes the air out of the room.
Yeah.
If you want to know my opinion,
not fun.
Also,
yeah.
So he said nigger, which is outrageous.
Right.
I can't believe it.
That's the whole. Yeah. That's the whole hypocrisy of the thing. Is if it's the sheer utterance of the word, which is so offensive, then why are you allowed to say nigger, you Chinaman? What the fuck is going on here?
Well, because he's not white.
But see, her whole.
It's only white people.
Do you see what I'm saying about her whole joke revolving around the idea that is an inappropriate thing to say? That's the whole fulcrum of the whole joke. She goes, right. What can I say that would be fucked up that would get me out of jury duty? I hate chinks. You know what I mean? Oops. Phone a ringy.
Show, man.
I dishonor my talk show. But the whole thing revolves around the fact that it's inappropriate. Yet he can just say nigger whenever he wants. You know what I mean? Methinks thy doth protest too much, if you know what I mean. So what else?
All right. So this guy goes on to say a lot of stuff about how nobody should ever use the word chink ever, and that during World War II the word Jap was used to put people in the concentration camps. He has this whole argument about how words make people human, and that's how you get away with doing shit.
I haven't thought about that in a long time. When I was a kid, people still said Jap.
Yeah, it's
definitely.
Well, I mean, we've got a much better relationship with Japan than China.
Because older people said it, you know what I mean? But it was still a thing I heard as a kid quite a bit.
Well, yeah, that's same with me. I'd talk about Nam, just because it was something older people said. I thought it was funny.
Nam is not a racial slur, you fucking
No, I know.
cretin.
I'm just saying, stuff I would say.
Anywho, and then he wants to address the satire angle of it, which if you go to 442 in your video, we can hear a little bit about that, where he tries to criticize the actual comedic value of making a joke like this.
This is the old thing of people whose business it is to be outraged selectively. Try to advise comedians on how they should operate and how they should do their business. I'd like to hear this.
Sorry, correctly. You run the risk of making people think that you really believe what you're saying. And until you know how to do satire correctly, I'd stay away from it.
But look at the thought it's provoked.
First of all, that joke wasn't satire. It was just silly. That's all it was. It was just a silly joke. That's it.
He does. I think it's right here where he offers an alternative punchline for the joke. Was that right here?
Yeah. Who is this guy?
He's some Chinese guy.
Dude, the Asians you've been hearing for
he's your token Chinaman.
Man, it's been
he's a writer.
The past 15 years, the number one complaint that I've heard from comedians and entertainers is just in terms of where you can't go as far as controversial material and racial stuff. You can't go Asian. That's the number one thing. Their lobbies, I guess, are just complete motherfuckers. They get and they jump on anything. You guys have heard that, right?
No.
Really? That's the number one thing I've heard for a million years. Worse than the ADL, worse than anybody, worse than Al Sharpton and whoever else likes to profit off of. It's these.
What about the geese?
Who are they?
The geese.
Oh, the gays. I thought you were talking about the geese like an Asian family. Sorry. Okay.
Jesus fuck. Okay.
All right, so we're gonna keep going on this for a second. Here we go.
Yeah.
So you are telling me, sir, that there is some joke that could use the word chink done correctly, satirically.
I think it is
that would
difficult.
be okay.
No, I don't
Wait a
think-
second. That's what you said. You said it just wasn't done correctly. So what? Give me an example.
No, I am just addressing one of the points she said, which was satire.
Yeah, this
I'm
is where
saying
I like Bill Maher. Is he's always pretty good on free speech. He really is.
Well, but what really annoyed me about this interview is that is the end of that conversation now. I would have liked to see him push that point and make that guy admit that there's a flaw in his logic, but instead he just let this guy keep ranting about whatever.
Dude, this thing made us really mad. I sent this to David Box like in a frothing rage. I remember I was like, dude.
What I responded with too.
What did you
said,
say?
Fuck that chink.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well,
yeah, because
dude,
that's how it
this
made
was-
us mad. Like we're like,
No, this-
fuck this guy.
I was so pissed.
This specific chink, though, he's a shill for Media Action Network. I just looked it up. It's a media-focused nonprofit for social change. So it's just some fucking asshole provocateur. They got a pretty good quote.
Social action little cartel that just lives to justify its own existence. That's one of 1,000. Yeah.
They got some good quotes on their homepage from like Helen Keller and stuff.
Are they in
How did
Morse
they quote-
code?
or
They're
is it-
fucking in Braille.
Yeah.
Like,
Are they pictures of like hands touching other hands?
Yep.
So okay,
just a
so-
picture of a woman spooning salt into her coffee. Sorry. All right.
So as mad as this Ching Chong Chinaman has made everybody, we haven't even gotten to the real gem of this
Oh my
video
God.
by the name of Anne Marie Johnson, and she claims to be a black actress.
Is she this big lanky broad?
Yeah, she's real long.
She is, yeah.
And she is very fair-skinned for a black woman.
Oh, you think she might be posing? She might be one of those Rachel Dolezals. What was that chick?
Dolezal.
Dolezal, yeah. The white head of the NAACP. All right, so where are we going to in this video?
Boy, does she have opinions. 712. She tells us a little bit about the people that she hangs out with.
She really does have arms like a three-toed sloth. It's like that doesn't fit your body, you fucking whore. What are you doing with those?
They like go past her knees.
Get out of here with those. What you doing? Yeah, they do.
Swinging them all around at everybody.
She's 7.5 feet tall, and her arms go past her knees somehow still.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let's look at this bitch. We're at 7.
So she's obviously outraged by the joke. She doesn't think it's funny. She doesn't even understand how it could possibly be funny.
Okay, let's see this.
Attitudes and behavior is so prevalent in our society.
In our society.
We have to talk. I'm tired of talking about this.
But I'm not, and that's
so
what I
tired.
do.
But I'm talking.
She doesn't look like she's tired. She looks like she's loaded up. Looks like she's what do they say? Loaded for bear. That's the old thing. Yeah, there she goes.
Not talking to. I don't want to convert anyone. I'm talking to my choir because I can't tell you how many times I'm at a dinner
Sarah
table
Silverman,
or I'm
as she's
playing
talking,
golf or whatever, and I have to hear someone say,
She said-
he really Jewed me down on that, or he was slow as a nigger, or look at that
What?
beaner run, and then.
I've hung out with plenty of racist people, and I've never heard somebody say he was slow as a nigger or look at that beaner run.
Yeah,
definitely the opposite.
I've definitely heard "Jewed me down" about 90,000 times. That was average lingo. When I was like 14, me and every single friend I had, that was not like a thing that was controversial, and we didn't know any Jews. It wasn't based on anything. We just said, "Don't try to fucking Jew me out of that thing, dude." That was just how you
that's
talk.
what you said.
Yeah, that was a verb. Yeah, it was an acceptable verb. And boy, do I miss those days. Oh boy.
Simpler times.
Yes. But Sarah Silverman, while this bitch is talking the entire time, Sarah Silverman is looking at her like, so this is why I kind of like Sarah Silverman. She's looking at her like, you're the most ridiculous person I've ever seen in my entire life. And if they would let her talk, you know, if it wasn't this shitty format of like a, 8-minute segments on a fucking Comedy Central show where everybody gets edited down to nothing, I bet
shouting at each other.
Yeah, I bet she would destroy this fucking broad. But here,
yeah.
Let's finish this up.
Or I'm playing golf or whatever, and I have to hear someone say,
looks
oh,
like
he
she'd
really
play golf.
chewed me down on that, or he was slow as a nigger, or look at that beaner run. And then I have to say,
Who are you hanging out with?
Who do you hang out with? God. Let me tell you.
That's true.
Who do you hang out with?
Where is this super progressive broad hanging out that she's hearing all this stuff, though? You know what I mean? Like,
look at that beater run.
Right, exactly. And like, why is she using the forum of this television show to say something about it instead of saying to those people, hey, don't call that Mexican guy a beaner?
Now, 2 out of 3 minorities.
Also, she said beater, and I'm outraged.
Yes, and they've both said nigger. The Chinese guy and the fucking twiggy alien broad. They've both said nigger. And the white guy, David Spade, hasn't said shit. He's just like, I don't do this, man. And
yeah, he seriously hasn't said anything.
The Jew has said chink. Okay. So where are we at with the score? I'd say nigger scores way higher than chink as far as racially offensive, just off the cuff, right? So I'd say these damn minorities are really they're doing a lot more racisms than the fucking Jew. All right, we got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
We're
now this black woman gets a little tripped up. If we go to like 15:05, she gets a little confused.
Oh, we're skipping
because
way
her
ahead.
whole
Okay.
there's a big long break in the middle of this video. It's really, we're only skipping a minute or two, but there's like whatever.
That's fine. Whatever. This thing just pisses me off so much.
I think she gets confused about what her argument exactly is because she's talking about all this racial stuff and black people and white people.
It would have to get confusing when your argument is complete hypocritical bullshit. That would once in a while tend to trip you up, I would think, you know?
Right. Well, and as we already mentioned, she appears very fair-skinned for a black person, which means that, like, the way she looks doesn't have as much to do with the way she chooses to feel about things.
I believe the scientific term is light-skinned.
Light-skinned. Yeah, my apologies.
She's a red bone, yeah. Okay, should we check her out at the end here?
Let's hear that. That old word.
From blacks to blacks.
I think I'm the only one qualified here to talk about this
wait a
issue.
second.
Blacks to blacks.
I'm the only one qualified here to talk about this issue. After all, my skin is 3 shades darker than yours at most. Actually, her skin might not even be darker than Sarah Silverman's, to be honest.
No,
I didn't even know you
I
were
have a
black
shot of
if
them
you
sitting
didn't
right next
tell
to each other.
Yeah.
Does it matter
it
about
doesn't
color?
matter.
It's her skin. Her skin really
This is
isn't
what I love. I love
darker.
when white people tried to define African American.
Oh, you're white, you fucking whore. Shut up.
What is an African American?
She just said, does it even
African-American
matter
regardless
about
of
color?
my skin color or my hair or my clothes or my attitude, and I think I'm the only one on the stage who's qualified to talk about the meaning of the word, how it hurts, how it doesn't hurt, where it's used, the history of it, because I live it every day.
It's in every song.
Thanks,
It's
asshole.
in every song on the radio.
So what are you saying, Andrea? She doesn't quite know what she's fucking talking about?
She says, she's like, does it matter the color of my skin? Does it matter if I'm or not?
And
at the same time, she's like, I'm so black and I'm the only one who could talk about being black.
I'm the only one here that can comment on this. That's it.
Yeah.
All
and
of
I'm
you
so
shut up.
Bill Maher literally said to her, I wouldn't even know you were black if you didn't tell me, which means like society sees you as a white person.
Yeah.
Yeah, it means like nigga please.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see that?
You deal with next to none of the fucking problems that you're talking about.
Right. Yeah, I guess. If you're putting forth the idea that just the tone of your skin is what determines a lot of your experiences in society, then that bitch is not dealing with that much.
No. And that's kind of, I think she got tripped up there because I don't think she wanted to be saying that, but she kind of was.
Okay,
whatever.
So that fucking.
But she's claiming total authority over the word. She's the only one qualified to use it and talk about it and talk about what it means and how it makes people feel.
She kind of looks like a marionette too when she like gestures. She looks like somebody
spooky looking. Yeah.
Yeah, like she's or like a Tim Burton fucking character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like they shot her at 33 frames a second and then played her back at 35 frames a second.
Like her long clay arms.
There's just one more little clip from this that I want to play with her, where I think she sums up her point very succinctly about how difficult it will be to repurpose the word nigger amongst any culture and make it okay for anyone to say, because she doesn't think anyone should say it, not even black people.
She said it already.
1621. She'll make her point very clearly here for us.
She already said it.
Yeah, but only like in a factual sense. She would never call somebody
This is the whole thing, dude. I've had people get really uncomfortable when I say it, and it's like, dude, we're adults. Do you really need me to say the N-word? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, dude, come on. There was a girl not too long ago. I think I've mentioned this before, but she got really uncomfortable with that. And once I figured out that she was uncomfortable, I just kept going. I was like, well, what about my friends? My friends made an album called Nigger Rig Time Machine, and they're all black. But that's what they called their album. Am I not allowed to say it? What about the fucking John Lennon song, Woman is the Nigger of the World? You know what I mean? And I just like rattled through like 10 things just to be like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, come on. It's just vibrations that came out of my mouth. It's not going to stab you. It's okay.
Yeah, not yet anyway.
I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings by saying the fucking word. Jesus Christ, dude. All right, let's check out the last little this idea in its death throes.
Black people niggers.
I'm
That
sorry,
still doesn't
but
matter.
I'm sorry. I still disagree with African Americans using the terminology because it proves that these young performers don't know the history, don't know what it is.
History changes.
No, they didn't have grandparents. You know, they never saw any documentaries. They never heard of slavery. Probably they didn't know that this was a term used by oppressors at one point. What a condescending cunt, dude. These young performers don't know the history of the. What are you, serious? Where the fuck do you think they're from? What are you talking about? Oh, rappers don't know that this word was once used to denigrate their culture. Really?
They think it's a joke.
They just think that they invented it in the late 70s. That's a popular view amongst rappers. They think that this word was invented in the late 70s. They don't know the history.
We have to educate them.
What a fucking arrogant cunt, dude. Jesus Christ.
Words evolve so much.
Doesn't change that fast, and we still have African Americans being lynched from trees with nigger being burned on their back. And if it doesn't happen in America,
Bill Maher said, "No, we don't." That's
History
funny.
doesn't change that fast.
Yeah.
We don't know how fast we can appropriate a word.
Can white people say nigger?
Okay. Nice try. The samples are not on point tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's making the whole argument. There's still black people being hanged with nigger burned across their back. Is that what she said?
Change that fast, and we
They
still
do.
have African Americans being lynched from trees with
No, we
nigger
don't.
being burned on their.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
And if it's not happening in America, it's happening in the UK.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
happening somewhere.
And it's happening to Americans in Mexico. No, that's funny. I love that he just said, no, we don't, because that is a ridiculous thing to say. like, dude, that is not really, I mean, maybe there's once in a while an isolated case like that, you know. But let's be honest, guys. If we're going to do a real white show, we should point out that black people, just by, you know, statistics and whatever, are way more likely to commit crimes against white people than white people are against black people. And that's been 30, 40 years. So, you know.
And that's not racist. These are facts.
I'm sorry. Does anybody else get a little uncomfortable about talking about it? Because it always is uncomfortable to bring up to people, even other white people. They don't want to hear that. But it's like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, am I really supposed to fear, like, this white nationalist uprising so much when the statistics represent the opposite, you know? And it's like, what conclusion am I supposed to come to? Not that I'm going to sit here and say that I want to promote some racial division of like, look, they're hitting us, you know, and we're not hitting that or whatever. It's just like, dude, come on. This idea that like this frothing at the mouth racist country is out lynching. I'm sorry, dude. It's really the other way around when white people wander into black neighborhoods and fucking don't know how to act. That's, you know, that's what gets people killed racially. Isn't it? Am I seriously?
Bad manners.
Did you mean how to act?
Yeah. When they ask the wrong questions.
Yeah. Yeah, they ask the wrong question.
Just right back to fucking.
Oh.
No, but dude, but you know what I'm saying? If we're all gonna be scared of something racially, not that I'm saying we should, because it still is a minority of, you know what I mean? It's a vast, you know, it's like being struck by lightning almost. Not quite, but but it's you know, I've hung out in plenty of black neighborhoods, never had a problem. I think a lot of that stuff is hype about like, oh, if you're in a black neighborhood, you're in danger if you're white and stuff. A lot of the times you're not. I think it's that the cultures are so different that they have different standards of conversation and behavior and respect that a lot of white people don't understand, and they end up getting fucking dealt with violently because that's the way of that neighborhood. You know what I mean? Is that fair to fucking say or not? Why are you guys hanging me out to dry here?
Yeah, no, it's fair. Yes,
Yeah,
it's fine.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, here's your.
See what I'm saying? I get nervous.
They're fucking animals, dude. You're right.
We're with you. Can we talk about something else for once?
Every day
No,
with
but
this.
you know what I'm saying? Where you get nervous to even say facts anymore, and it's like, dude, let's be fair about it at least. I got no fucking hate in my heart for anybody, but let's be fair, for real, dude. You guys are killing us, dude. Seriously, if anything.
Yeah. And the real problem will never be addressed until people are honest with themselves.
Yeah, the cops are killing them though. I'll give them that.
That's yeah.
Oh,
they can have. Well, the cops are killing everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
cops are killing everybody.
Cops kill way more whites than blacks.
Oh, Alex, are you retarded? All right, cops kill. Cops kill. No, not per capita. Cops kill more whites total than blacks, but per capita they kill blacks at 5 times the rate of whites. But you know who they kill at 5 times the rate of blacks? Native Americans. So where's their big Twitter outcry? You know.
Christopher Columbus has not stopped.
Yeah, so by percent, like just by odds, you're more likely to be killed by police if you're black. And like I say, it's that old endless argument of like, okay, well, there's higher crime rates in black neighborhoods, but then you got to look at the fact that traditionally black neighborhoods are more strictly enforced and selectively enforced for certain crimes. So that breeds a stronger criminal element because the fucking justice system doesn't turn out rehabilitated people. It turns out worse criminals, and it's a cycle. You know what I mean? So there's both arguments have a part of them that's right. You know what I mean?
Well, you said they were 5 times more likely. I just want to correct you. PolitiFact, the liberal website, says it's 3 times more likely. So.
Oh, my last research.
No, they're 5 No, whites are 5 times more than blacks in America. That's in this statistic.
Whites are what? 5 times more what?
It says the statement ignores that there are 5 times more whites than blacks in America. When comparing death rates, blacks are about 3 times more likely to die.
Oh, I thought it was 5. I don't know, dude. There's probably a bunch of conflicting numbers. I don't know. Anyways, either or whatever. It's still they have a legitimate case that they've always been targeted harder by the police. You know.
Sure.
Yes.
I mean, it's true, dude. There's no sense in denying it.
But they're also statistically more likely to be committing crimes and violent crimes.
Yeah, but those stats are misleading. Like, if you make something, if you decriminalize a certain thing, like people go, hey, crime rates dropped when they decriminalized drugs in this place. And it's like, well, obviously, because they're not arresting people for drugs anymore, you know? So that's a lot of crimes that aren't happening. So statistics can be misleading in that way of like, if a black community has been selectively, and most people will accept the fact that police departments were racist a long time ago. So if this whole cycle started back in the 40s and the 50s, when we generally accept that police departments were pretty racist, a lot of them, you know, and they start churning people in and out of the system, we know what that creates. So I don't know where the real truth is and where the real line is, but like, you can't look at a community that was selectively picked on and given heavier rates of enforcement and go like, well, look at them, they're committing more crimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's how I look at it. I've seen it. I mean, I have both sides of it. I'm a white person who is harassed by police, and I've had horrible experiences with police, and I fucking hate police. And I think that it is an every race issue, and I think they have too much power, and they suck ass. But also, you know...
Here we go.
What?
they suck ass. Got me.
Yeah, but I mean, it's an every race issue. It's a cross racial issue. I don't like to see it all made about black people. But dude, I've seen enough of it in my life and I've heard enough stories from people I know and trust, and I've seen stuff with my own eyes that I really do think that the police have, selectively enforced black communities way harsher than white, just traditionally. I'm on board with that.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of evidence to support it too. I don't think anyone's arguing that.
Anecdotal, man. Like going back to before the internet, every black friend I had all these stories about that shit. You know.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It's my life experience and things I've seen, heard, and blah 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 that make me feel that way. So, whatever.
All right, great. Let's finish up this white black bitch.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what do we have left to do with her?
There's just if you keep playing from where you are, you'll hear, I think, just the best summation of it's my favorite part of the whole video.
All right, back to the twiggy alien white black cunt. Here we go.
Back, and if it doesn't happen in America, it happens in Europe. And let's think about what happened in what was Washington, the state of Washington, just a couple of years ago, where an Ethiopian was lynched. So listen, folks, it's not a word that we can use. Please pass the tea. And could you pass me the nigger too? It still hurts. That doesn't even make sense.
What did that?
Wait, and then you just cut Sarah Silverman off.
Oh, okay, hold on.
I think you guys aren't picking up on the joke.
Can everybody just be quiet for a second? Because I want to record this, and then I want to have it as a sample for the show.
Okay.
Hold on.
African Americans being lynched from trees with nigger being burned on their back. And if it doesn't happen in America, it happens in Europe. And let's think about what happened in what was Washington, the state of Washington, just a couple of years ago, where an Ethiopian was lynched. So listen, folks, it's not a word that we can use. Please pass the tea. And could you pass me the nigger too?
That's what I wanted right there. So we'll have that now. I'll be able to pull that out of there. All right, and so let's see the very end of this.
Still hurts. That doesn't even make sense.
If I can say something what David was saying earlier about humor, because the one thing I have a big problem with.
What did she say?
You came on this show.
Sarah Silverman said, "That doesn't even make sense."
It still hurts. That doesn't even make sense.
If I can say something what David was saying earlier about
Yeah. See.
Yeah, I thought that. I thought that was just a good way to end it.
You can't use it that way, all right? At the dinner table.
Right, exactly.
How is anyone gonna pass you the nigger? I don't understand.
Because it rhymes with sugar.
Did it?
Is that what she was going for?
Yeah, that's what she was going for.
No.
Sugar. Can you pass the sugar? Listen to it again. That's what she meant.
No, that's not what she meant.
She meant to say sugar.
I bet you it is.
Can you pass
It's,
pass me the tea and pass me the sugar. That's what she meant.
How is that? What are you talking about?
Because it's a stupid thought, but that's what she was going for. Is what I mean.
You mean like it was supposed to be some kind of a pun or something? Like.
Yeah, she thought that was the funny thing about it. That's what I'm saying.
Man, I don't see that.
No.
That's like the
Neither
worst.
do I.
I mean, if that is what she was doing,
joke
that's the worst thing ever.
And you know what? You're as bad as her for coming up with that.
Dude.
And
Worse.
twice as racist.
Yeah. Easily.
I was just trying to shed some light.
So are we done with
So,
that?
and then
those
the other
idiots?
thing, the other thing that really pissed me off about this is that there's no ending. It doesn't resolve. There's no. They just like, okay, well that's it. We just argued at each other, and nobody changed their mind or really validated anyone else's point, and now it's over.
TV is fucking worthless, dude. I mean, we would probably use a lot more, like, when they have people debate on television and stuff, we'd probably use a lot more of it if it made any sense. It's just a bunch of disjointed rambling so much of the time. You know what I mean? We'd probably use the audio on the show from, like, Bill O'Reilly once in a while or some shit to make fun of it if it wasn't just completely in the abstract. You know, it was just like... It just is not. It just is worthless. There's nothing even to talk about and latch onto enough to make fun of. I'd rather make fun of that fucking fat-tongued idiot that hangs out at the bowling alley that we were making fun of earlier than talk about like MSNBC or Fox News. To be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, Lispy the janitor. So I bet David Box has probably got to get to bed, huh? Got to get up early.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for hanging out on the Overdose. We'll come back and do a little bit. Andrea, you want to stick around?
No, I have to get up early too.
All right,
so
well, fuck
we're
you.
Out. Yeah, shit.
I'm hanging up on them. Goodbye. Alex, I just hung up on him. All right. Back in a few minutes on the Overdose Talk Show. Alright, here we go. Alright, we're back on the Overdose Talk Show. What else is left here in the world to talk about? Net neutrality, right? Everybody freaking out about that, and it's a rough one because it's like, where do you come down on it? Do you support government intervention in private businesses, or do you support the giant faceless corporate monolith of something like Comcast? Although I will say, you know, what was the new bill, Alex? Could you look it up really quick if you don't know? The new bill that it had one of those names like the Internet Freedom Act or whatever. And anytime the government puts freedom in the name of a bill, you should definitely be suspicious. You know, so there doesn't seem to be much evidence that I can see of what everybody's worried about. Everybody's worried about internet providers charging these package deals to where it's like, okay, we'll only provide you with access to these websites for this added price. I'm like, why would they do that at this point? You know what I mean? And theoretically, I don't know a ton about that industry. Maybe somebody can comment or give us a tip and lead us in the right direction. But I don't understand why new competitors can't come up in terms of internet providers. But it seems to be, you know, there's something going on because Comcast treats its customers like fucking shit. Cox treats its customers like fucking shit. So something's going on here where their new competitors are not able to rise up because these customers are not satisfied by these giant companies at all. So it's a rough one. You know, where do you think you come down on it?
Well, just speaking of internet service providers, my fucking if one is being retarded right now. It's not letting me access a bunch of websites. But I don't know. That's kind of hard for me because it.
Because it's sorry to cut you off. On one hand, it's a private company deciding how they provide their service. On the other hand, do we trust those companies? And but then again, do we ever trust the government to interfere with those companies? I don't. So I guess I gotta be on the side, weirdly, of this. Or no. I'm sorry. I gotta be on against this bill. I guess Right? Am I against the bill?
Yeah, no, sorry.
The bill is to end net neutrality. Oh no. So I guess I'm for the bill. See, I don't even fucking know, dude. It's hard for me to be on the side of government intervention with private business. I just don't. It's hard for me to find a strong moral foundation for something like that.
Yeah. Well, what about when the businesses are controlling the government?
That's where we get, and this is another reason that I hate government and why a lot of socialists, I feel like, are so short-sighted with the way that they look at things, because they're so afraid of corporations and capitalism, when a lot of these corporations wouldn't be nearly as powerful as they were if they didn't have the apparatus of government to work through and to lobby through and to put their cronies into and to get favoritism with a lot of the power that government has. So yeah, it's one of those things of like this is almost where it gets down to some like chess playing, where if you're a freedom-oriented, freedom-minded kind of person, where do you fall on this? Because maybe which is more evil, I guess. Do you believe the federal government or these corporations are more evil? And it might be a toss up at this point in history,
Yeah.
But the federal government is certainly more dangerous in the long run. So like a lot of things, I guess I would tend to say I'd hate to set the precedent that they can decide how a media provider provides its media.
Yeah, this is a hard one.
It's a hard one. It almost kind of reminds me of Citizens United. The Fairness Doctrine. Do you remember the Fairness Doctrine? This was the idea that all political views had to be represented fairly on a network, and it led to a bunch of failed left-wing talk shows, because left-wing talk is notoriously unsuccessful, and that's just a part of the history of AM radio and talk and podcasting. Left-wing stuff is just not successful. I there's a lot of people that would say, probably I would agree actually, that because most of the left-wing position is based on emotion, that there's not a whole lot to talk about, so it becomes a whiny kind of repetitive emotional thing, which isn't that fun to listen to, whereas a lot of right-wing stuff is based on little emotion. There's an old saying, if you're a Republican in your 20s, you have no heart. If you're a Democrat in your 30s, you have no brains. So it's one of those, you know what I mean? It's one of those things where like the Republican thing is all based on logic and deduction, and it takes very little emotion into play, and the left-wing thing is more based on all emotion and whatever. I think they really do both have their place in certain times. Like we were talking earlier, there's a lot of left-wing stuff that we have no fucking problem with. All the pro-gay, racial equality and blah, blah, blah. Great on its face, if that's the real thing. You want racial equality? Good. So do I. You want gays to be married? Good. Great. Let them. Drugs to be legal? Definitely. All that stuff, you know what I mean? But like, then there's a lot of it that comes with those dogmatic positions that people tend to take that really is all based on emotion. So whatever. So it's unsuccessful in the talk format because there's not much to talk about. But the Fairness Doctrine, guaranteed that there had to be these left-wing talk shows, and it really failed. And this kind of reminds me of that in a way. It could lead to something like that. You know what I mean? Where you have to provide access to this if you want to have access to this. And you know what I mean? Like, this is kind of a parallel that I see.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do more research about this, honestly, because it's confusing.
Yeah, why? Who cares? This is the thing. How many fucking thousands of things do you need to know about? God, the world is fucking exhausting now, isn't it? It's just like... Remember when it was just Janet Jackson's nipple came out? And that was the thing for 2 months?
I remember that. I remember that.
God, everything is really just exhausting. You need to know so many stuff. There are so many stuffs to stay relevant. This show stinks. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I know it's a rough one. I know people disagree on it, but yeah, I have a hard time supporting any government intervention in private business. That's where I'm at on that, I guess, for now.
Yeah.
We're in a dangerous world, dude. We're damned if we do, damned if we don't, you know? That's what they say.
Are we... You done with that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you hear about this Australian court that was holding a hearing about this monkey taking a selfie? PETA is suing this court for the copyright to this, or for the monkey to own the copyright to taking its selfie because someone else is claiming it.
This is not real. Come on.
Yeah, it is.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Federal court. So it was a monkey on some island, and they held
this up too. Hold on. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, well, they held it. They held the hearing, and I just it's another ridiculous thing that PETA is doing.
Monkey can't own copyright to his selfie, federal judge says. That's what I found.
Right, yeah.
That's from like a year and a half ago. Well, I guess we're doing an old school kind of show tonight. The legal saga of the monkey selfie continues. On Wednesday, a federal judge said the macaque monkey who famously snapped a picture of himself cannot be declared the owner of the image of copyright. Is this... Can we leave? Can we just go to some other planet or some shit? Like, can we just... I don't know, man. The more and more, like, I started this show like 3 years ago, ready to say some stuff. And then I said so much stuff and then so many things, and I'm just like, can we just go? Is this enough? Monkey copyright to own selfie. It was a whole, like, is that enough? Can the world be over now? Is that it? Is that it?
Oh, we're getting there.
Dude, we must be getting there, right? Like, what the fuck is going on? There's no indication that the Copyright Act extends to animals. U.S. District Judge William Orrick. Like, what should have happened is this should have been brought up somewhere, and immediately the judge should have gone, this is silly. This is a dumb animal. Fuck this. We're done with this. Like, what, how is this? I'm not... This is the judge's quote. I'm not the person to weigh into this. This is an issue for Congress and the president. Come on, this is from NPR.org. It's all over the place. There's a bunch of websites.
And the president.
The U.S. Copyright Office, since the dispute began, has specifically listed a photograph taken by a monkey as an example of an item that cannot be copyrighted. So that's official now. So a monkey can't copyright his own photograph. That's what we know now?
Yeah.
That's what we do with our legal system?
Yeah, exactly. How much money went to that from tax? It's just ridiculous.
Oh my god. What else? We were gonna do the Shia LaBeouf arrest video. I don't even feel like it. It's kind of stupid. It's just him acting like he's trying to act like a tough guy, sort of like Wigger sounding dude. And
yeah, it's
yelling at a bunch of cops.
I will say seems like he's going down some weird spiral.
I've done way worse. everything in that video was tame compared to my last DUI arrest. Holy shit, dude. I've done way worse. The shit he was talking was nothing. Nothing.
Well, how do they get those videos? Could we get videos from your arrest? Isn't that public?
You know what?
Information?
I was supposed to a while ago, and I just never called my lawyer back. I should get those. I think we can FOIA request those. And
all right.
It might still be possible to get those, unless they erased them in embarrassment because they're fucking cunt pussies. And I talked mad shit right to them, and they were just like, "We don't know what to do. We're suburban dumbass cops." Here's another thing we missed a while ago. The TSA. How did we miss this? I guess we weren't doing shows at the time. TSA busted in massive $100 million, 40,000 pound cocaine smuggling conspiracy. So they were smuggling cocaine through Puerto Rico. I guess there was a network of TSA agents that were involved in smuggling this stuff and helping it get through customs and shit. This is fucking insane, man. And that's, by the way, let's see, what did they say? $100 million. That's literally 100 million more terrorists than the TSA has caught. So, interesting little factoid there for you. From 1988, the TSA, were they around in 88?
I guess.
I thought they came about after 9/11. Either way, whatever. Maybe it's just different. It's just the same conspirators. But somehow they had eyes on this since '88, according to the DOJ. And I saw some other people earlier had posted some screenshots of the DOJ website that literally said they were watching this thing for fucking years. You know.
All right. Well, you were right. It was created in 2001. So, what was it before?
They were probably just using airport workers or of whatever kind that they were. You know.
Okay.
Probably
yeah.
Yeah, they were letting people through with all the fucking with all the coke on them. Yeah, but obviously, who doesn't know that this shit has been going on forever? That the CIA and then certain branches of the military are smuggling tons of coke in, and they have people bought off all over the place. It's not really news, but I just can't believe we didn't see this big of a bust just a few months ago.
Yeah, well, maybe they kept it on the hush-hush.
Yeah, I guess it didn't become huge news, or else we would have known about it, but whatever. I mean, this is a giant fucking thing, 40,000 pounds of coke. Oh my god, dude, that would last me at least a week and a half. That would be insane.
40,000 pounds.
I think we could snort that in a week and a half. Just fucking be running. Our legs would be 75 feet tall, just running down the street, 1,000 miles an hour. Federal Security Director for Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands said this investigation was initiated by TSA as part of its efforts to address employee misconduct and specific insider threat vulnerabilities. TSA has zero tolerance for employees engaged in criminal activity. That is such a fucking joke. Dude, the amount of crime that the TSA has committed from just individual employees stealing to other little smuggling operations like this that we've seen over the years, dude, it's staggering. They've committed way more crime than they've stopped. I'll guarantee you that.
Yeah, I don't like the TSA. I'll just come out and say it.
Yeah, just go out on a limb there. You know how most people love the TSA,
right?
It's let's see, this was the second such bust in only 2 years. In November 2015, 3 former TSA agents were indicted on charges of defrauding the government and smuggling cocaine. And blah blah blah. Yeah, there you go. That's your old trustworthy thing. By the way, which is such a joke. You realize the security lines that they create are way more people in a way more vulnerable position than ever occur on any plane. You know, so like before
Yeah,
people went through the security lines, they could have all kinds of bombs, whatever. If your concern is really terrorism and not criminalizing the average American citizen, if your concern was really terrorism, you'd realize you're creating a way more dangerous situation by creating these security lines. You know what I mean? Basic math. 1 + 1 = 2. You get it, young Alex?
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yes. We know. We know better than everyone. We've watched a lot of YouTube. we know a lot of stuff. And with that, I'd say we call it a night on the Overdose Talk Show. We'll be back soon, everybody. Couple days.
A little bit.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
We'll have a couple drinks, see a couple things.
All right, fuck off. I got work to do.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Good night.